Hi, I'm Adam Tompkins. Welcome to the first of the Diamond Vantage how-to videos. In this video, we're going to teach how to profile and polish natural stone and tile. What's great about this, to do the profiling polishing, all you need is a variable speed angle grinder, diamond router bits, and our new 3-step dry polishing pads. We have 4 different shapes of router bits. We have a 3/8 small radius, 3/4 larger radius, 45-degree bevel, and a 3-centimeter full bullnose. Then we have our dry white 3-step pads. What's great about these is in the past there have been other grinder router bits, but the top bearing was plastic and you had to run them with water. These have 2 stainless steel bearings and they can be run wet or dry on any grinder. Our polishing pads need to have an adjustable speed grinder. You can't use them at more than 4,000 RPMs. In the past, to do a full polish, it took 7 pads, 50 grit, 100, 200, 400, 800, 1500, and 3000 to achieve a factory finish. To demonstrate this, I made a sample piece so that you can physically see what each grit is doing. 50 grit, 100, 200, 400, 800, 1500, 3000. And you can see it, what each grit is physically doing. Our new 3-step pads achieved the exact same factory finish in just 3 pads. Here you can see the number 1, the number 2, the number 3. And what I like about this is it gives you the option. You could break it down to say, well, number 1 sands the material, number 2 gives a nice high hone, and number 3, full factory polish. So depending on what effect you get, you can use all or just some of the pads. Okay, so the first material we're going to do is porcelain. This piece here is an outdoor porcelain paver. These have become really popular. They're heavier than a normal porcelain and they're a lot thicker. This one's 3/4 of an inch thick. So we're going to use our 3/4 radius router bit. So let's get started. Okay, there you go. That was awesome. You can see we have a perfect half round all the way down. You'll notice I did put a piece of tape across the top just to give the top bearing something to run on and prevent any scratching on the surface of the factory finish. Okay, now it's time to polish. So first thing, please always check your RPMs. Make sure you've got them turned all the way down. Otherwise you're going to shoot that pad all the way across the room. We're going to start with the number 1 pad on our Velcro backer. Okay, so as you can see, we have a beautiful, perfect shape, but you can see the grind marks left from the router bit. So the number 1 pad is going to take out all of those lines and prepare it for the next step. Okay, there you go. Polishing pad number 1 took out all the scratches and all the lines from the router bit, giving it a nice soft finish, but not any kind of shine. And now we'll move on to number 2. Number 2. Okay, we just finished with the number 2 pad. You can see it starting to get darker. You can even start to see a little bit of gloss, but not a high gloss. It's beautiful. And that's what I love about these 3-step pads is you have the option. You can have a number 1 matte finish, you can have a number 2 semi-gloss, or you can have a number 3 full gloss. Wow, did you see that? That transformed almost instantly from that semi-gloss to that high gloss finish. It's beautiful. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, so next we're going to do travertine, which is a natural stone, very soft. You see it a lot for swimming pool copings and outdoor patios. Let's get started. Okay. Okay, so this time we did a 45-degree bevel instead of the radius, and because this material has a dull finish on the top, we're only going to do the number 1 pad, but you're going to see it's a beautiful match to the factory finish. Okay, so same thing again. First thing, check your RPMs. I had them cranked up for the router bit, but we got to bring them all the way back down for the polishing pads. Here we go. Okay, so there you go. Number 1 pad gave a perfect match to the factory finish on top. No need to go any further. Anything more than that, it's going to over polish the edge and look incongruent. So this piece, it's done. Okay, so for our last piece, we're going to do natural granite, and we're just going to do a flat polish. We've already done the router bits. This time we're just going to show the 3-step pads. Let's get started. Okay, so we just finished with the number 1 pad. One thing I like to point out, I personally love dry pads because I can see where I'm going, I can see where I've been, where if I'm wet polishing, I have to stop, dry the material, look at it, see if I missed anything. This way I can see it immediately and looks pretty good. We're ready to go to number 2 now. Okay, we're ready to go to number 2 now. Okay, number 2, it's got quite a bit more color than the number 1. It looks good. We're ready to go to number 3, but before we do that, I got to point something out. Make sure that when you're doing your polishing that you're using the middle of the pad, the whole surface of the pad. Sometimes I'll see guys trying to dig at it with the edge, and what you're going to do is 2 things. 1, you're going to wear out the pad prematurely. And 2, when you look down this edge, you're going to see these wavy gravies, and
that's not a professional look. So keep the pad flat, try to use the center, try to feel the whole pad through the grinder into your hand. Okay. All right, time for number 3. You know what I love that we did this and there was 0 dust, 0 water. It's clean, it's great. Okay, there it is. Beautiful final finish with the number 3. The color is consistent with the top. The shine's consistent with the top. That's exactly what we're looking for. I do want to point out one thing. Notice that when I was polishing, I never touched the surface. Don't touch the surface. You know, you can go to 5 degrees off the top or so, but don't touch the surface. You're going to put swirls in it that are going to be really hard to take out. So just pay attention to where you are. Again, use the center of the pad and feel through the pad what you're doing. Don't touch the surface. Okay, so there you go. Easy, right? All you need is a variable speed grinder, a shop vac, whatever shape of grinder router bit that you want to use, and your 3-step dry pads. We did a 45-degree bevel on the travertine, full polish 3/4 radius on porcelain, and then flat polish with an ease edge on natural granite. All the same tools, and you can do just about anything with these. I've polished concrete and bullnose concrete with these, brick pavers, every type of natural stone that you can imagine. It's all the same, and it works great. So thank you for watching, and be looking for the next one.